Commander Adam Frost stepped onto the gleaming deck of the Caloyan mothership, his heart pounding beneath his crisp uniform. As the first human ambassador to this alien race, he knew the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but nothing could have prepared him for the sight that greeted him. A trio of stunning blue-skinned females glided towards him, their lithe forms draped in shimmering gowns that left little to the imagination. Their almond-shaped eyes appraised him hungrily, like predators sizing up their prey. "Welcome, Commander Frost," purred the tallest one, her voice a seductive melody. "I am Empress Azura, leader of the Caloyan people. We have long awaited a visit from your fascinating species." Adam swallowed hard, trying to maintain his composure amidst the overwhelming alien allure. "Thank you, Empress. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Earth. I look forward to learning about your culture and fostering peaceful relations between our worlds." Azura's lips curved in an enigmatic smile. "Oh, I have no doubt our relations will be quite fruitful." Her gaze raked over his chiseled features and muscular frame, lingering just a bit too long to be purely diplomatic. The other two females, introduced as High Priestess Zalana and Admiral Zarya, echoed their leader's appraisal with smoldering stares of their own. Adam felt the weight of their collective desire like a tangible force, threatening to buckle his knees. As he was led on a tour of the colossal ship, Adam couldn't shake the sense that he was being sized up, evaluated, as if he were a prize to be won. The women took every opportunity to brush against him, to trail their fingers along his arm, or whisper in his ear. It was clear they were each vying for his attention, employing all their considerable charms to seduce him. But beneath the flirtations, Adam sensed an undercurrent of genuine fascination, even reverence. It was as if he represented something profound and alluring to their kind. Little did Adam know, he was about to be caught in the middle of an alien mating ritual unlike anything he could imagine, and the fate of both their worlds might just hinge on his ability to navigate the treacherous waters ahead. As the welcoming feast commenced in a grand hall of shimmering crystal, Adam braced himself for the unknown. He had a feeling his mission was about to get a whole lot more complicated, and a whole lot more interesting. As the feast progressed, Adam found himself surrounded by the alluring blue-skinned women, each one vying for his attention with increasing boldness. Empress Azura regaled him with tales of Caloyan conquest, her eyes glinting with pride and something more primal. "Commander Frost," Azura purred, her voice low and seductive, "have you ever witnessed the thrill of a Caloyan hunt? The rush of adrenaline as you stalk your prey, the satisfaction of claiming your prize." Adam swallowed hard, trying to maintain his composure. "I can't say that I have, Empress. On Earth, we don't really hunt sentient beings." Azura laughed, a throaty sound that sent shivers down his spine. "Oh, but you're missing out on so much. The chase, the capture, the ultimate dominion over another. It's the very essence of Caloyan power." Before Adam could respond, High Priestess Zalana chimed in, her tone more contemplative. "But is power the only thing that matters, Empress? What of wisdom, of understanding the very nature of existence?" Zalana turned to Adam, her eyes shimmering with curiosity. "Tell me, Commander, what do humans believe is the purpose of life? What drives your species to explore the stars, to seek out new worlds and civilizations?" Adam paused, considering his words carefully. "Well, High Priestess, I suppose we're driven by a desire for knowledge, for growth. We believe that by understanding the universe and our place in it, we can become better versions of ourselves." Zalana nodded, a smile playing at the corners of her lips. "An admirable sentiment, Commander. But what happens when that growth is stifled? When one is trapped by the limitations of their own society?" Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Adam sensed there was more to Zalana than met the eye, a depth of intellect and perhaps even rebellion simmering beneath the surface. But it was Admiral Zarya who posed the most direct challenge. "Tell me, Commander Frost," she purred, leaning in close enough for him to catch her exotic scent. "How do humans choose their mates? Among our kind, It is the females who compete for the strongest, most virile male. Adam nearly choked on his drink, caught off guard by her forwardness. Well, Admiral, on Earth we have a concept called love. It's a deep emotional connection that goes beyond physical attraction. When two people are in love, they choose each other as equals, as partners. Zarya's brow furrowed as if trying to grasp an alien concept. Love? How peculiar. For us, mating is a matter of securing the best genetic match, ensuring the strength of our offspring. Emotions are irrelevant. Empress Azura chimed in, her tone laced with curiosity. This love of yours, Commander, it sounds like a weakness, a distraction from the pursuit of power and glory. Why would any male settle for just one female? Adam took a deep breath, realizing he was treading on dangerous ground. With all due respect, Empress, love is not a weakness. It's a source of strength, of unity. When two people love each other, they bring out the best in one another. They face challenges together as a team. High Priestess Zelana cocked her head, her gaze penetrating. And what if multiple females love the same male? What happens then, Commander Frost? Adam's heart raced as he felt the weight of their collective gaze upon him. He had a sinking feeling he knew exactly where this conversation was heading. In that case, the choice ultimately lies with the individual. Love isn't about competition or conquest. It's about a mutual bond, a partnership of equals. The three women exchanged loaded glances, a silent communication passing between them. Adam braced himself, sensing the storm gathering on the horizon. Empress Azura rose to her feet, her voice ringing out across the hall. Hear me, my sisters. The human male speaks of a strange and wondrous thing called love, a force that binds two beings together beyond mere physical attraction. A murmur rippled through the crowd, a mix of fascination and disbelief. Azura continued, her eyes blazing with intensity. I propose a challenge, a contest of wills and wiles. Let us each strive to win the human's love, to prove ourselves worthy of this mysterious bond. May the most cunning and determined among us emerge victorious. The hall erupted in cheers and shouts of approval, the women's competitiveness ignited by their leader's words. Adam felt a chill run down his spine, realizing he had just become the unwitting prize in a dangerous alien game. As the feast concluded and he was escorted to his quarters, Adam's mind raced with the implications of what had transpired. He knew he needed to find a way to bridge the gap between their cultures, to make them understand the true meaning of love before it was too late. But with three determined alien beauties vying for his affection, each one more alluring and cunning than the last, Adam knew he was in for the fight of his life, and the fate of both their worlds hung in the balance. Over the next few days, Adam found himself caught in a whirlwind of alien courtship rituals, each one more bewildering than the last. Empress Azura invited him to witness a gladiatorial battle in his honor, where she personally defeated a dozen challengers with breathtaking skill and savagery. The arena was a massive circular structure with towering walls of gleaming metal and a floor of blood-red sand. As Adam took his seat in the royal box, Azura leaned in close and whispered, "Watch closely, Commander. This is the true power of the Caloyan Empire." Adam watched in awe as Azura moved with lightning speed and deadly precision, her twin blades flashing in the artificial light. She danced around her opponents, her movements fluid and graceful even as she delivered killing blow after killing blow. When the last challenger fell, Azura stood triumphant, her blue skin glistening with sweat and her eyes blazing with primal fury. She turned to Adam, a feral grin on her face, and declared, "Do you see now, Commander? This is what it means to be Caloyan, to be undefeated, unrivaled, unstoppable." Adam could only nod, his throat dry and his heart pounding in his chest. High Priestess Zelana led him on a tour of the ship's vast archives, revealing ancient secrets and forbidden knowledge that left his mind reeling. The archives were a labyrinth of towering shelves and glowing data terminals, stretching out as far as the eye could see. "This is the accumulated wisdom of our people, Commander," Zelana said, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Centuries of history, science, and philosophy, all at your fingertips. Zelana guided him through the maze, her voice low and hypnotic as she spoke of the Kaloyan's long and storied history. She showed him ancient texts and holographic recordings, each one more incredible than the last. "Behold, the first contact between our species and the krill," she said, gesturing to a shimmering hologram, "a defining moment in our history and a testament to our strength and resilience." Adam saw visions of alien worlds and long-forgotten civilizations, of great battles and terrible sacrifices. And through it all, Zelana watched him with a knowing smile, as if she could see into his very soul. But it was Admiral Zarya's approach that proved the most unsettling. She challenged him to a series of increasingly dangerous simulations, pitting their wits and combat skills against each other in a deadly dance of seduction. The simulations were held in a massive holographic chamber where reality and illusion blended seamlessly. "Let's see what you're made of, Commander," Zarya purred as the simulation flickered to life around them. "Show me the legendary human spirit in action." Adam found himself in the midst of raging battles and heart-stopping chases, his adrenaline surging as he fought to stay alive. Zarya was always there, a constant presence at the edge of his vision, her eyes glinting with a predatory light. "Is that the best you can do?" she taunted as Adam narrowly dodged a hail of laser fire. "I thought humans were supposed to be the ultimate survivors." She pushed him to his limits, forcing him to dig deep within himself and find reserves of strength and cunning he never knew he possessed. And with each narrow escape and hard-fought victory, Adam felt the pull of her magnetic presence, the thrill of their shared adrenaline. "You continue to surprise me, Commander," Zarya said, her voice low and sultry. "Perhaps there's more to you than meets the eye." It was like a drug, intoxicating and addictive, and he knew he was playing with fire. One evening, as he sat alone in his quarters, trying to make sense of the madness, a chime sounded at his door. Adam opened it to find Zelana standing there, her expression uncharacteristically somber. "Commander Frost, may I speak with you in private?" she asked, her voice low and urgent. Adam hesitated for a moment, then stepped aside to let her enter. "Of course, High Priestess. What's on your mind?" Zelana paced the room, her hands clasped tightly before her. "I have been thinking a great deal about what you said at the feast, about this concept of love. First, I dismissed it as a foolish human notion, a weakness to be exploited." She paused, her gaze meeting his with startling intensity. "But the more I observe you, the more I begin to wonder if there might be some truth to your words. The way you speak of love as a source of strength and unity, it is unlike anything I have ever encountered." Adam's heart raced, a glimmer of hope kindling in his chest. "Love is the most powerful force in the universe, Zelana. It has the power to bridge any divide, to heal any wound. When two people truly love each other, they become something greater than the sum of their parts." Zelana nodded slowly, as if absorbing his words. "I want to understand this power, Commander. I want to know what it means to love, and be loved in return. But I fear it may be too late for me, too late for our kind." Adam reached out, taking her hand in his own. "It's never too late, Zelana. Love is a choice, a leap of faith. If you open your heart to it, anything is possible." For a long moment, they stood there in silence, their eyes locked in a wordless exchange. Then, Zelana pulled away, her expression hardening with resolve. "I must go, Commander, but know that you have given me much to consider. Perhaps there is still hope for our peoples, if we can learn to see beyond our differences and embrace the power of love." With that, she was gone, leaving Adam alone with his thoughts. He knew he had just witnessed a breakthrough, a crack in the armor of Kaloyan culture, but he also knew that the road ahead would be fraught with peril. As he struggled to awaken the other women to the true meaning of love, as he lay down to sleep that night, Adam's mind was filled with visions of blue-skinned beauties and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. He knew that the fate of both their worlds rested on his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of the heart, to prove that love was the ultimate force for good in the universe. The next morning, Adam awoke to a summons from Empress Azura herself. He made his way to her throne room, his heart pounding with anticipation and trepidation. When he arrived, he found the Empress seated on her crystalline throne, flanked by Admiral Zarya and High Priestess Zelana. The tension in the room was palpable, the air crackling with unspoken rivalries. "Commander Frost," Azura began, her voice dripping with honey and venom. "It has come to my attention that you have been spreading dangerous ideas among my people. This talk of love, of emotional bonds superseding the pursuit of power, it is a threat to our very way of life." Adam stood his ground, meeting her gaze with unwavering conviction. "With all due respect, Empress, love is not a threat. It is the key to unlocking our true potential, to building bridges instead of walls. If your people could learn to embrace it, there's no telling what heights you might reach." Zarya scoffed, her eyes flashing with disdain. "You speak of bridges, human, but all I see is weakness. Love is a crutch for the feeble-minded, a distraction from the true path to greatness." But Zelana spoke up, her voice trembling with newfound courage. "No, sister, the commander is right. I have seen the power of love firsthand, the way it can transform even the hardest of hearts. If we continue to reject it, we doom ourselves to a future of emptiness and strife." Azura's eyes narrowed, her grip tightening on the armrest of her throne. "You dare defy me, Zelana? You, who have always been the weakest among us." Zelana stood tall, her chin lifted in defiance. "I am not weak, Azura. I am strong enough to recognize the truth when I see it. And the truth is that love is the only way forward, for our people and for the universe itself." Adam's heart swelled with pride and admiration as he watched Zelana take her stand. He knew that she had just put everything on the line, risking her very life for the sake of a higher ideal. Azura rose to her feet, her voice trembling with barely contained rage. "Enough! I will not tolerate this insubordination. Zelana, you are hereby stripped of your rank and privileges. You will be confined to your quarters until I decide your ultimate fate." Zarya stepped forward, her hand resting on the hilt of her plasma blade. "And as for you, Commander Frost, you have sown the seeds of discord among our people. You will be taken to the arena, where you will face our mightiest warriors in single combat. If you survive, you may yet prove yourself worthy of our respect. If not, well, at least you will have died for your precious love." Adam's blood ran cold at the prospect of facing off against the Caloyan champions, but he refused to back down. He knew that this was his chance to prove once and for all that love was the most powerful force in the universe, that it could overcome any obstacle. As the guards led him away to prepare for the battle ahead, Adam caught Zelana's eye across the room. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them, a promise that no matter what happened, they would never stop fighting for the truth. The stage was set for a showdown that would determine the fate of two worlds, a clash of ideals that would echo across the stars, and at the center of it all stood one human male, armed only with the power of his convictions and the unshakable belief that love would always find a way. The arena was a cauldron of chaos, a seething mass of blue-skinned warriors and bloodthirsty spectators. Adam stood at the center of it all, his heart pounding in his chest, as he faced off against the most fearsome champions of the Caloyan race. He was armed only with a simple plasma sword, a weapon that felt flimsy and inadequate compared to the high-tech arsenal of his opponents. But as the first challenger rushed forward, a hulking brute with rippling muscles and a cruel sneer, Adam felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. He thought of Zelana, of the bravery she had shown in standing up for what she believed in. He thought of the countless generations of humans who had fought and died for the sake of love, for the chance to build a better world. With a roar of defiance, Adam met the warrior's charge head-on, his blade flashing in a dizzying arc of light. The two men clashed in a storm of sparks and sweat, their movements a blur of speed and precision. But even as his muscles burned with fatigue, Adam refused to yield. He fought with the strength of his convictions, with the unshakable belief that love would always triumph in the end. One by one, the Kaloyan champions fell before him, their bodies broken and their spirits crushed. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the human male stood tall amidst the carnage, his eyes blazing with a fire that seemed to burn straight through to their souls. And then, just when it seemed that victory was within his grasp, Adam felt a searing pain lance through his shoulder. He stumbled back, his vision blurring as he saw Admiral Zarya standing before him, her plasma blade dripping with his blood. "You fought well, human," she snarled, her voice dripping with contempt. "But in the end, you are still weak, still bound by your foolish notions of love and compassion. Now you will die as you lived, a slave to your own emotions." She raised her blade for the killing blow, but before she could strike, a voice rang out across the arena. "No." Adam turned to see Zelana standing at the edge of the battlefield, her eyes blazing with determination. "This ends now, Zarya. The commander has proven himself worthy, not just as a warrior, but as a being of honor and integrity. If you strike him down, you will only prove the weakness of our own ways." Zarya hesitated, her blade wavering in midair. For a moment, Adam dared to hope that she might see reason, that she might finally understand the true power of love. But then, with a snarl of rage, the Admiral lunged forward, her blade aimed straight at Adam's heart. Time seemed to slow to a crawl as he watched the gleaming point of the weapon arc towards him, his mind racing with 1,000 regrets and a single overwhelming thought. "I love you, Zelana," he whispered, his eyes locked on hers across the battlefield. "I always will." And then, just as the blade was about to pierce his flesh, a blinding flash of light erupted from the stands. Adam watched in amazement as Empress Azura herself leaped into the arena, her own plasma sword blazing with an otherworldly glow. "Enough!" she cried, her voice ringing with the authority of a true leader. "I have seen the error of my ways, the folly of our ancient traditions. The human is right. Love is the only way forward, the only path to true greatness." She turned to face Zarya, her eyes blazing with righteous fury. "Stand down, Admiral. That's an order." For a moment, Zarya looked as if she might defy her Empress, her grip tightening on her blade. But then, with a snarl of frustration, she lowered her weapon and stepped back, her head bowed in submission. Azura turned to Adam, her expression softening with something like respect. "You have fought bravely, Commander Frost. You have shown us the true meaning of courage and compassion. From this day forward, let it be known that the Kaloyan people will strive to follow your example, to build a society based on love and understanding." Adam felt a rush of emotion surge through him, a mix of relief and gratitude and something deeper, something that felt like the stirrings of hope. He looked to Zelana, saw the tears of joy streaming down her face, and knew that everything they had fought for, everything they had believed in, had been worth it. As the crowd erupted in cheers and applause, Adam reached out to take Zelana's hand in his, their fingers intertwining in a gesture of unity and love. Together, they stood tall amidst the chaos, a beacon of hope for a brighter tomorrow. And as the sun set on that fateful day, casting the arena in a warm, golden glow, Adam knew that the universe would never be the same. For in that moment, on that distant alien world, a new era had dawned, an era of peace, prosperity, and boundless love.